So I was kind of contemplating what I was going to talk about, and there was one story that kind of didn't want to talk about, but I just decided that why not? What do I have to lose? Basically, the only thing is like it's super dumb. That's why. But yeah. So where do we begin? Um, so as you can see from the title, you know what this video is about. I was off. It was during the summer, so I had planned to go see one of my friends, and we decided, hey, let's go to the beach, let's have a beach day. I was like, okay, you know. So I went to the beach and kind of just like hung out and do what you do on a beach, and then that we were basically there like the whole entire day. I know, probably definitely got heat stroke, probably didn't drink enough water, probably didn't suntan lotion on me. So I know I definitely got burned. So then I came home and it was later in the day and it was me, my boyfriend, and my roommate. And we're kind of just like eating and talking and things like that. And a store had opened up down the street from where I live, and it was like edibles and CBD and like some with infused with hemp and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. So we went there like a few weeks ago, and we had gotten some like little tiny little gummies. I honestly didn't think anything of it because I have experimented with like other stuff, and you know, I've been fine and nothing crazy, whatever. And I'm not like crazy with like taking a bunch of stuff, like that doesn't, like, no, it's just like it's little, I'll be fine. So we were just like, okay, let's take one, and why not? So I was like, okay. So I took one. It was probably the size of like a dime. It was very small. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm fine. My boyfriend was like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm fine too. And then all of a sudden I started feeling it. And it actually, I felt it pretty quickly. I feel like in the like 10 to 15 minutes I kind of felt it. And just sitting there, I'm like, whoa. And it's like, like when I've had stuff before, it was kind of like you get to just like a certain level and then you're fine and you stay there and you're good. Well, this one I felt like I was like drowning deeper and deeper into like this abyss. It got to a point where it was too much, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Like my anxiety started, and it wasn't like I was in a bad like place or anything. I was home, I was fine. And so the scary thing for me was like I felt extremely weird, but also if I was sitting in the kitchen, and then I got up and went to the bathroom, and then I got up again and went to the bedroom. I could remember being in the specific spot that I was, but I couldn't remember getting from one place to the other. So me going from the bathroom to the bedroom, I do not remember myself walking there or what happened in between. I just remember physically where I was at that second. Like I knew that I had to walk to get from one location to the other, but I didn't, like, I couldn't think about how it happened. So like I'm freaking out. Like I kept saying like I'm too high, like it's too much. I'm too up there. And I sat on the floor in the kitchen and I was like, no, this isn't good. Like my chest is hurting. Like I think it was just anxiety. I don't think it was anything else, because honestly thinking about it, my heart was like palpitating, like beating really fast, but it was because I have anxiety. And so it was just accelerating the anxiety, and then I was afraid that I would never come down from that, and so I was like extremely scared. So I was sitting in the bathroom, I'm like, okay, we need to call 911, like it's too much. And like I could have waited it out, but honestly, like it took hours for me like to go down, and like I would have not been able to go to sleep. Like I would have been so scared. So they called 911, and they had to come all the way upstairs, and they were like checking my pulse, asking me questions. Meanwhile, this is the middle of all this stuff going on with the world still, and I didn't remember my mask and anything, so thank God it was good from that. But they were like, okay, do you have anxiety? Can you walk down? I barely could walk down the stairs. I honestly don't remember walking down the stairs. And then we got to the ambulance, and they were like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I was like, yeah. And so they were giving me oxygen in the ambulance, and like it felt like it took forever to get to the hospital. And mind you, I don't know, like I understand the streets are super bad in Brooklyn, but this thing felt like a roller coaster. Like we were jumping up and down in this freaking ambulance like crazy. Like good thing we were strapped in, because otherwise, man, we would have been flying inside that thing. And then we got to the hospital, and I remember getting out of the ambulance and walking into the building. But all I saw were cops like surrounding the entrance as I was walking in. So in my head I was like, oh my god, they didn't take me to the hospital. They took me to a precinct, and I'm getting booked and this and that. Mind you, this stuff is legal now. I was so scared. Like I stopped and pulled back because I was like, oh no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do that. So, and then I was like, no, it's okay. It's actually a hospital. So we kept moving in, and it was like all these cops were there because of this crazy guy that was there, so that was different. But because I was such in a different headspace, this guy was like talking like these different languages, and not like actual languages. I mean like just gibberish, saying the weirdest stuff ever. And I was like, is he actually speaking gibberish, or am I that like out of it that I can't like understand what he's saying? But no, he was actually like speaking gibberish. I was like, okay, thank God. But then I was sitting there for so long, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like they're not gonna take me in. And then I just remember like sitting there, and then all of a sudden sitting in another part of the hospital to change, and then sitting in another part of the hospital for this like doctor to come up to me and says, oh, so you're in here for this? Oh, okay. Next time you come in, you're gonna be in here for heroin. And I'm like, whoa. He's like, why do you do this to yourself? This is the next steps for you. And I'm like, no, it's like, no, it's not. Like that's crazy. Like you really telling people that they're gonna come in for heroin after doing just that? I'm like, excuse me. So I was like, I wasn't scared. It was more I was just like appalled by that. And then they finally got me into a bed. I had a lady nurse that was super sweet, and then I had a kitty, and then I had a guy nurse that he was super funny as well. So he asked me, he's like, why are you in here? And I told him, and he was like, he literally was laughing, and he's like, you'll be fine, don't worry. So they just had me hooked up to like a bunch of different IVs and things like that, and like getting just fluids, and then they were just checking and monitoring my heart. My heart at the beginning was like super fast, and so they gave me, I think, medicine to like reduce my pulsating heart. It was funny because I had calmed down, and I was just laying there, and like kind of just I have to go through it. Like there's nothing they can do, so I could have stayed home. I thought that they would maybe have done something. I was just more worried about dying than anything else. Like the one time they came over to check my heart rating, I was nervous. Like they came over to check and it was fine, and then I was nervous, and so I had my own anxiety, so it was pumping, and they were like, are you okay? Do you need anything? I was like, no, it's just my anxiety, I'm fine. But meanwhile, me sitting in this bed, like I swear to God, there was a guy next to me who had a gunshot wound, and then there was like people just walking around in the halls, and like just like laying anywhere on bed, and I'm like I feel like I'm in a like I don't even know, some third world country or something. I was like, what is this? I was so scared. I was so scared to ask for the bathroom or anything, because I didn't want to move from that one spot because the surrounding area was so scary. I'm like, I hope nobody comes at me or anything, because I'm gonna scream. But at least like the nurses were right in front of me, and they were like lined up right there, so if anything, somebody would have saw something or helped or whatever, so that was okay. So I ended up, they asked me if I wanted to stay only a few hours, but I ended up, because I was so up there, I ended up staying the whole night, and I got out at 7, and I was still like, I had come down a lot, but I was still a little bit up there, and they were like, okay, it's 7 a.m. you can go, you can be discharged. I was like, okay, great. And I didn't have a mask this whole time, thank God. But I was like, can I have a mask? And so they gave me a mask, and then they kind of were just like, okay, go down that way to leave. And I was like, okay. I was like looking around, I was like, I don't know where the hell to go, but so then I ended up walking out and like kind of just there, and I like hadn't slept at all. I couldn't sleep. I was so like revved up, but also like so scared. So I was like, I don't know, like I need to go home and sleep. So it was like 7 a.m. and I walked outside and was waiting, and I had my boyfriend come. He came and picked me up, and I mean, he could have stayed there, but it was like they were just gonna monitor me all night, and that's it. There was nothing like extreme. So they were like, oh, just go home, you'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, it's okay. Trying to text him during that was horrendous because I didn't know, everything was like fuzzy, but whatever. So then we ended up coming home, and I went to sleep for, I think he went to sleep too, for a good few hours. And then since then I haven't done any of that. No thanks, I'm good for a long time. I don't need to be doing that. I didn't even think that would be, see, like I was so like oblivious. I had no idea like any of that would like do anything. This small little thing, like, and especially made by like a company versus like someone actually making it. It was way more powerful than I thought. And even my boyfriend, he was like, he didn't feel it, and then when we got to the hospital, he was like, I started feeling it. He's like, I know I was gonna be fine. I know, like I literally overreacted and made my anxiety heightened. So, you know, I thought with anxiety, like that stuff is good for you, but I'm gonna stick to my CBD versus any kind of edibles because I don't need that to happen again. It's a great story to tell, but other than that, we'll stick to not doing that again. Alright, if you guys have had experiences like this or something similar, please let me know so that I don't feel bad about this, because it's such a joke. But if you have any of those, put it down in the comments below, or if you've had some crazy experiences, please let me know. Usually I don't have crazy experiences, so this is one for the books. So if you like this video, like it down below and subscribe if you haven't. There will definitely be more stuff to come, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!